Hey Titans, it's April 1st, 2016, and this is Cen10 News. I'm Brody Williams.
And I'm Cody Cobb. Do you know what the weather's going to be like this weekend?
No, but let's find out.
Most people don't know what's going on with the weather. We asked some students fake questions to test their knowledge. All of the increased rain from the El Nino storm system that we've been having has caused Lebanon Trail's opening to be delayed a couple months.
Yeah? Is that really true?
I don't really care because I'm not going to be living here because I'm going to college, so.
It doesn't really affect us as a high school because none of us go there because it's an all-freshman high school.
There's a widening hole in our ozone layer and it's leading to a decrease in global warming. Did you know about that, and what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I started reading about it, and I just think we're going to lose a lot of heat, and all the ice is going to melt.
I feel like us as teenagers should just take action.
Global warming's bad.
But it's leading to a decrease in global warming.
What is, the hole?
In the ozone layer.
I feel like that's not true.
The wind chill in our atmosphere has been so high, there's a 75% chance of a snow next week. What are you planning on doing with your snow day so late in spring?
I'll probably build a snowman with my friends.
I plan on studying.
You know, I'll make some hot chocolate, hang with squad, stuff like that.
This has been Emma Bittner with Cen10 News.
You know what this year has in store for us, Brody?
Leap year? The extra day in February?
No, we have El Nino this year, with all that crazy fun weather.
Hey Titans, have you wondered why we've had such crazy and abnormal weather recently? You've probably heard the term El Nino floating around the news, but do you really know what it means? I talked to our AP Environmental Science teacher, Miss Ewald, to find out.
El Nino's southern oscillations are periodic changes in the winds over the Pacific, and when those winds die down, all the warm water that's usually pushed towards Australia and Southeast Asia migrates back across towards North and South America. So it's typically during the winter time is where it got its name because of Christmas. It has most impact on South America because of their fishing industry disappears, but for us it means typically a colder or wetter winter for us. We are in an El Nino right now. They expect it's going to die out probably in the late spring, early summer.
This El Nino is one of the strongest ones on record, and some scientists have even named it a super El Nino. Before this year, there have been only 3 other El Ninos as strong, one in 1982 to 83 and another in 1997 to 98.
The El Nino phenomenon impacts the jet stream, which is what pulls cold air down from the Arctic Circle. So we have some really intense cold weather, but some precipitation as well because it changes the conditions in the atmosphere.
Would that have led to all the rain we had last year?
Yeah, or this past winter. They suspect that we might be going into a La Nina after El Nino, which is typically what happens. The cycle's every 2 to 7 years with El Ninos. And so with La Ninas, that actually may mean a little bit warmer winter for us, but it means colder winter for the Northwest because, again, it's affecting the jet stream, which pulls the intense cold air down into our area during the winter time.
This has been Rachel May with Cen10 News.
Here at Centennial, the students come from very different backgrounds and some develop some strange habits.
We've talked to some students here at Centennial about their strange addictions.
Previously, on My Strange Addiction, we met with a Centennial High School student who is addicted to smelling hair. This week, we met with 2 other Titans about their own strange addictions.
What?
Can you please state your name?
My name is Reed Ruprecht.
All right, what's your strange addiction?
Can you say that again?
What is your strange addiction?
I like to focus on things.
All right, well, how did this all start?
I'm not actually sure, but, I'm sorry.
Can you focus on more than one thing at a time?
No.
Do you think you're ever going to be able to fix this problem?
Excuse me?
Do you think you can fix this addiction?
No.
State your name.
Bernie Anders.
All right, now I want you from the very beginning to tell us how it all started.
Well, it all started back in the 2nd grade. My best friend, Chad, he gave me a water bottle one day, and I don't know what happened. I drank it all, and I couldn't stop. I got another, and I'm sorry, just nobody really knows about this, and really hard for me. I'm addicted to drinking water.
Do you have any control over this addiction?
In reality, no, I don't. I go through 20 water bottles a day, at the least. Swimming pools some days, a freaking water tower the other. I just can't stop myself.
Would you be open to having help over this addiction?
I don't think it's a matter of wanting help. I think it's a matter of needing help. If this doesn't stop, I'm gonna drown to death.
Join us next week when we meet with another student who has come out and shared his addiction to licking doorknobs.
Teenagers have the privilege of getting a license.
Here are some tips for you new drivers.
Since Centennial has a lot of new drivers, we here at Cen10 News thought it would be a good idea to give you guys some driving tips. Driving tip number 1. If the person in front of you is moving a little too slow, use the front end of your car to give them additional momentum to encourage them along. Driving tip number 2. If you are having a hard time getting out of the parking lot, simply gun it and drive over the hill. Driving tip number 3. When you see your friends on the road, greet them with a pit maneuver. It's the car equivalent of a high five.
Please do not try any of these tips. You'd be stupid too. It's an April Fool's joke. Don't do it. Don't be a moron.
Now, we all have some bad habits behind the wheel,
but some of them could be deadly.
Alyssa has more.
Hey Titans, all students around 15 to 17 years old begin to learn how to drive. Some are safe drivers while others are a danger to themselves and other drivers. Since 1999, the leading cause of death among teenagers is motor vehicle-related accidents. And the top 5 reasons are speeding, drinking and driving, nighttime driving, not wearing a seatbelt, and cell phones, as stated by After Car Accidents. A father and police officer here in Frisco talked about driving from his point of view.
When students first get their license, they're learning a new skill, and driving is a very complex skill because there's a lot of things that are going on that you're having to pay attention to with your operating your feet, controlling your hands, looking your eyes, moving your head side to side, and it can be overwhelming at times. And they're just not developed mentally to be able to process that much stuff at such a quick rate. Sometimes teens can be easily distracted. Nowadays with the phones, everybody's got to have their cell phone and everything, so their phone goes off and they cannot help but look at it. It's natural. And so they easily get distracted and not paying attention. If you have a bunch of riders or occupants in the car, you get distracted from conversations that are going on.
Today, the number 1 cause of death among teenagers are car crashes. The majority of serious teen crashes are because of critical errors, which are commonly a lack of scanning to detect and respond to hazards, going too fast for road conditions, and being distracted. The top cause of teen driving crashes is no seatbelt usage. 6 out of 10 drivers ages 16 to 20 that were killed were unrestrained. And almost 2 out of 3 teens killed who were occupants were also unrestrained. 55% of teens who died in car crashes were not wearing a seatbelt, and among drivers on the road, teenagers have the lowest seatbelt usage rate.
One thing I did with my daughter was learning to drive as I took her to the college. At Preston Ridge campus, they have a lot of stop signs, they have turns, they have parking spots, all those places that you can go up there on a Sunday afternoon when nobody's there and safely learn how to navigate all those different things and make the correct decisions. But one thing that I tell my daughter all the time is to pay attention to what's going on. Drive a little bit slower than what you normally would. Be prepared for the things that you're going to come across. Another one is check your car. Make sure that your tires look good. Make sure that you don't just jump in and you have a flat and you take off and start driving. Pay attention to the small things so you'll be better prepared for the bigger ones.
I hope that now you know the dangers of driving that are presently the greatest reasons of teenage crashes, and that you become safer drivers for yourself and others on the road. This has been Alyssa Harmon with Cen10 News.
What's up, Titans? Mark Capizera back with your Titan Sports. Last Friday, the boys soccer team beat Lovejoy 2-1 to advance to the area round to take on Bryan Adams at Toyota Stadium on Friday at 7:30. The girls played McKinney and cruised to a 2-0 win to advance to the area round, and they play Mesquite Poteet at Wiley on Friday at 6. The baseball team has had an okay start at 8-9 through 17 games, but they did beat Little Elm 3-0 last Thursday. Their next game is Tuesday here at Centennial against the Colony at 7:30. The softball team is off to a strong start at 10-4 through 14 games, and they defeated Heritage 10-3 this past Tuesday. Their next game is at Frisco on Friday at 7. Go support your Titan sports teams.
Hey Titans, some of you might have noticed that there are some new freshman faces on the varsity softball team this year. I talked to the freshmen to see how they're enjoying their freshman year on varsity, and I also talked to the head coach to see how the freshmen are an asset to the team this year.
So they're a huge asset because with Frisco opening as many schools as they are, the number of athletes that we have are limited. So they're very, very good athletes, and they help our program tremendously. Sometimes their youth shows, but the good part about softball is you don't really have to be a certain size. So if their techniques are where they should be, then they'll start. They're very good athletes, so I think they already start with our program, so I think that they should help us make it to the playoffs. By the time that they graduate from Centennial, I'd really like them to be able to have learned how to budget a job, working with softball, homework, family life, their personal life, and just become a well-rounded athlete. We honestly picked the best 13 that came to tryouts, and they just happened to be the best 13.
I asked them what they were thinking about as they tried out for the team.
I guess I had expectations for myself, so I was hopefully going to make varsity, and also I kind of wanted to keep the tradition going because my sister made it as a freshman, so I wanted to make it as a freshman.
I mean, I was nervous, but I just told myself to do what I normally do and play like I know I can.
I honestly thought I was good enough to make varsity, but I didn't know because all the other girls were, bigger than I was, stronger than I was. They could shoot it all the way to home, and I obviously not that strong, but I can hopefully get it there.
I asked the freshmen how they enjoy being on the varsity team.
I like it a lot because you get the experience and you get to associate yourself with upperclassmen, and it makes you a better person on and off the field.
I like it. It's definitely fun and stressful at times, but I think we're going to do really well. So I think as we start to get into district, it'll get fun.
They told me how they get hyped before a game.
I would either say my music or just warm-ups and being excited during that.
I just like to listen to music before the game, to get me in the mode.
Reporting for Cen10 News, I'm Robbie Alexander.
We would like to wish all of our academic teams that are going to UIL this weekend good luck.
That's all for this week's edition of Cen10 News.
Have a happy April Fool's Day, Titans.